All right, everybody, I am here with Cherryo, Dardez, and Vote of SSG, and we're going to be doing a little looking back, a little looking forward, and maybe where we're at, looking in the now, I suppose. Here for phase number 2, I kind of want to start things off, get the feel of sort of the dynamic with the team. Somebody remind me, is everyone in the team house right now? What's sort of the dynamic surrounding all that? Anyone feel free to jump in on that.
Yeah, we all live in the same team house, all 5 players, and Josh is in UK.
Cherryo, do you think that's a distinct advantage? Because there are some teams in the league who are somewhat split. You know, one guy here, one guy there, all that sort of thing. Do you think that's an advantage as far as everyone living together?
I think as long as the team's like doing well or like winning or like not losing really hard, I think it's always an advantage. But obviously, if you start losing, sometimes like it could be tension in the house or like people might not agree with each other. But for now, it's pretty good, yeah.
Dardez, you laugh. Is there some tension you felt at any point over the last few months?
Nah.
No.
Nah. I think we're all good.
Good. All right. Well, so it's been a kind of a weird, year up to this point as far as everyone's in the houses, but we're unable to be in the studio, given the sort of world circumstances. Vote, maybe down to you. How's the team passing the time? What have you guys been up to kind of keep yourselves mentally fresh, I guess?
I don't even know what people do. Dardez plays well. I play well.
Nice.
Raph plays well. Cherry, I don't know what he does. He just locks himself away. Nika streams. I'm pretty sure we all use the gym. We've got a home gym. I'm pretty sure we all use that.
That's good. You got to stay, mentally on top of your game, physically on top of your game. I get it. Dardez, what are you rolling in WoW nowadays?
Well, I play WoW Classic and Retail, so on Classic I play Warlock, and on Retail I play Hunter. There you go.
Fair enough. We like those. Cherryo, were you on the WoW grind as well? I don't remember the full list. But...
I never. It was just Vote, Dardez, and Raph. They play WoW all the time. I mainly just play other games.
Sure, man.
No.
I mean, sure, man.
No.
Every time I open Discord, I see them both in the room. They're all streaming, playing together.
Yeah. That's what I.
Well, I stream in the mornings, and then at night I mainly play random games. Like I've been playing Among Us like this past week with a lot of people. It's been pretty fun.
Right.
And just playing random games, mainly like Valorant and Apex, and watching Netflix, I guess, at night. And then Nika like just wakes up late, and then he just streams for a long time. And then he does like we just play random games at night. It just depends on what everyone's doing, really.
Well, that's good. I mean, you gotta take a kind of a mental break from it all. I mean, a lot of Smite, I imagine, takes up those
Too
days.
much.
Right. I mean, you're slamming queues, and then SPL games. You need a mental reset every once in a while. Vote. I kind of want your thoughts on this. Obviously, the sort of other 4 dudes on this team, Renegades last year. You come into this squad. How have you kind of seen your relationship with them build, specifically in the house? Maybe now that everyone's been living together. I don't want to say stuck with one another, but you've all been in the same house for, I guess, 6-7 months now. How have you kind of seen your relationship grow with the other 4 guys from day one to where we are now?
I mean, I was pretty good friends with them all before I joined anyway.
Sure.
But I don't know, in the house, people are just messier than you expect. Cherry's just leaving glasses lying around the kitchen sometimes. Raph's just leaving plates in the sink. I don't know. I feel like Raph's like the least tidy person compared to what I'd expect him to be.
Right.
Because he's so old, you expect him to be so clean.
Right. What was it? We interviewed you guys like mid-phase 1. Somebody stole something from someone else's like food or something like that. Flaming Cheetos.
It was Cherry.
That was me, of course.
So what was it?
People steal my food. I just don't complain about it. Okay, I don't remember.
Right.
I think it was ice cream.
It's like chips or ice cream or something weird.
Yeah.
Like that.
Chips was not me, but I got blamed for that.
Yeah. I mean,
but it was Raph who stole Vote's Pringles. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, talk about tensions. It might not be performance-based because you guys are doing great. It's somebody stealing your ice cream out of the freezer.
I'm pretty sure that's when the Rising game happened as well. Someone stole my ice cream or something like that. They had that Rising game.
That is why.
Yep.
I'm okay.
Dardez, quick thoughts to you. team expectations, I think, coming into this season, massive potential for the Renegade squad last year. Again, most of the same roster. Vote a great addition to make the full 5. Kind of counter to potential last season. What were your expectations for Phase 1 specifically, and do you think you guys met those?
No, I thought we would at least reach finals in MSI, but then again, we didn't have a lot of practice going to MSI, so I was not expected to get 3-0'd by Ghost, but it is how it is. But we should be fine for Phase 2. I think we got fixed together now. We fixed some things, and we should be fine.
Yeah, and Cherryo, maybe over to you on this one. Kind of with the way Phase 1 went into the playoffs, obviously, maybe an earlier exit than you guys expected. How did the team kind of react to that? Obviously, a little downtime before Phase 2, but what were some of the takeaways specifically from how you guys did in Phase 1? Well,
we had a pretty big team talk at how we lost, and then we had a 5-week break where we kind of didn't really think about Smite. We just did our own thing.
Right.
We did. We had another small team talk about how we want to handle scrims and the environment in scrims. Didn't really work out though. We still do the same stuff in scrims, but I mean, eventually we'll fix it. I hope. We'll start taking scrims a bit more seriously, try to learn from them more. I think if we fix that, I think we'll probably be twice as good as we are now if we just actually start learning from scrims. Because we go into SPL games and we only learn from SPL games right now. I'd say we don't really learn from scrims. So that's a lot of potential games that we could be learning from that we're not. And if we manage to fix that, I don't doubt that we could win Worlds easily.
Yeah, Vote, kind of down to you then. Any separate takeaways from maybe what Cherryo has detailed there after Phase 1? Anything jump to mind that you guys want to work on heading into Phase 2?
I just think it's scrims, the same as Cherryo does. I know it's kind of hard to if one person shows in scrims and we're all trolling. Except maybe Cherryo, because he's a tryhard, but Dardez trolls, me and Raph are trolling. If Raph trolls, me and Dardez are trolling. If I troll, Dardez and Raph troll. It's just we have to get just into a phase of none of us trolling.
Right.
But I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon.
It's the bits and pieces, and then when all the stars align, it's over for everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, look, you guys have started off the phase very well. Only lost to Ghost. Right there, tied for first as far as standings go. Did you and lots of meta shifts? I think that happened. Big update heading into phase number 2. So we'll kind of look at phase 2 now, and then moving forward after that. Dardez, maybe down to you. Did you expect this team to grab onto this meta so effectively, so quickly, with some big shifts happening?
Well, I think so, because right now buffs are spawning every 2 minutes. So Ghosts are the pressure team, right? Everyone sees them out, the pressure team. So they're doing really well in this meta. I think there's always something to invade. Their whole plan is to invade blue or purple, right? Before the game they set a plan, and they're going to blue or purple every 2 minutes, and they're doing it no matter what. Right. So that's why you see them losing sometimes when they reach late game, because when that doesn't work early game, they kind of struggle late game, but they're still a good team late game, but they're less of a good team late game than other teams. For example, Sanguine or us, I think, we're a better late game team.
So, and maybe Cherryo, over to you. How would you describe, do you think, your team's kind of play style? Ghost is Dardez kind of lays out very early game. They push you and they build the lead and hope to take it early. What would you say your guys' maybe MO is as a team? You're difficult to lock down, but do you think you guys have a play style that you think describes you?
Not exactly sure, but I think we play mid-game really well, from maybe 15 to 25 minutes. I think this is where we play best. I feel like Gold Fury fights, I feel like we struggle sometimes on fire, but I don't feel like we struggle around gold at all. So I think it's maybe just team fighting for us is good, but I think team fighting around fire is good because we kind of struggle around whether we want to secure it or fight or bait in. But I think mid game, the map play and go for your team fights, probably we're the best team at that.
Vote. Do you agree with that mindset? 15, 25 minutes at mid game is where you think you guys hit your spike?
I think it just depends on our plan.
Sure.
If there was last time we played Ghost in phase 1, the first time I think we 2-1 them, right, Cherry?
No, we 2-1 them.
Yeah. Okay.
But we were playing every game early game, yeah.
Yeah, we played to invade buffs. I think if we just have a plan and play to our plan, was the best at that thing. Especially some games you don't have the plan.
And this is kind of removed maybe from you guys specifically. Maybe it is specific to you guys, but just very curious. Do you guys game plan specifically for your opponents, or is it more of a we know what we want to do, we know what we do well, like and kind of maybe we know what Ghost is going to try to do, so we'll keep our eye out for that, or do you really think change your mindset depending on who you're playing? Anyone feel free to jump in.
Definitely a little bit of both, I'd say. I think mainly we want to do what we do best, but then you play against some teams and you're like, okay, we should pressure that team because they're going to go full late game. We shouldn't let them get away with it. And this team's going to go full pressure, so we shouldn't draft too much late game to make sure we can survive and get to like our strong points. So I think you have to, like, we won't change our picks for a certain team, but you have to change your play style for some certain teams, I'd say, yeah.
Sure, I think it makes plenty of sense. It's an interesting, I think, kind of thread to follow there. I'm in a unique position now with all three of kind of the damage carries, I suppose, in the interview. We've had kind of mixes of everyone. I want everyone now. I'll start with Cherryo down to Vote over to Dardez. What do you think the meta is surrounding your specific role in game is right now? Some powerful gods, maybe some powerful builds, and how do you rate your ability to maybe solo carry a game? Obviously, at the SPL level, it's not that simple, but the carry potential maybe of your specific role. Cherryo, we'll start over with you in the jungle.
I think realistically in SPL, jungle throughout the whole game can kind of solo carry, I'd say. I think at some point supports are more impactful than junglers, but at the end of the day, like, junglers are always impactful. Late game they can one-shot carries win the team fight, one-shot jungler win the team fight. Early game they can set up ganks to get their team ahead, invades and all. Like, they're always doing something on the map. So I think they definitely have the most potential to solo carry. Right. I think the meta right now is just all of the gods. You need to be able to do damage with them. Like, I don't think any hybrid gods are good right now. You shouldn't go any hybrid gods. Just like full damage, everyone, full assassin. Even if you play Guardian, full damage. You can't really mess around with defense. It's not gonna do anything. It won't be enough to help you. Like, carries get their items too quickly. That defense just loses its value. So you don't even want to go defense early. Pretty sure it's just counter picking right now in jungle. Right. I'd say like counter picking the enemy team and mainly counter picking the enemy jungler. So like, what the popular gods are. Like I know what the meta picks are, and I'm always just depending on the jungler I'm playing against. I'm just waiting because I know what he's gonna play. Then I'll just counter pick him, and mainly late game I'll just make sure he isn't as effective as me in what I want to do.
Yeah, jungle's been an absolute blast to watch so far here in Phase 2. Vote down to you. Where do you think the carry potential is from the AD carry position? Do you think it's at a very strong point in the meta? What are kind of your thoughts on your specific role at the moment?
I actually don't think ADC can hard single-handedly carry a game. I think if the enemy team wants to kill you, they'll kill you. They can just throw everything at you. You're going to live so much, right? It's up to your team to try and save you at that point. It's like, say if you're like 10-0, right? Just tank you up. If the enemy team just wants to kill you, you can just throw all 5 bodies at you. Solo lane has thorns, assassins blinking on you, support blinking on you. You're probably going to die unless you're playing Migrama, maybe Bog, Jingwei.
Right.
I don't know. I think, yeah.
You hear that, other two? He's just getting dove on constantly, so you guys need to pick up the slack elsewhere. Dardez, you're shaking your head there. What do you think about mid lane at the moment, and what kind of your role entails?
Well, I think it depends on the draws, right? Like, you have those draws like Hera, Afro, Morrigan, like, you can solo carry games, but then you have, like, I don't know, Nuwa, like, maybe Hunters Mid, like, you can't really solo carry games. You have to, like, play with your IDC in fights, because, like Vote said, like, one of you are gonna die. Like, if they want to kill you, like, you're gonna die. Like, there's no way you survive. So you have to, like, I guess count on your, like I need to count on Vote to carry the fight if they focus on me, and vice versa, I guess.
Right.
So I'd say it depends on the gods.
Sure, fair enough. And kind of on the back end of that, Dardez, you've kind of have a handful of these kind of slightly off meta picks. Not bad by any means, just maybe not as prioritized by some other people in the league. Aphrodite, Hell comes to mind, that nature. Do you think that gives you guys as a team a bit of an advantage in the pick ban phase? Because, often, especially maybe in the current meta, this is another meta question, so much strong, I think, to be banned out in those first 6 spots, but teams still feel the need to look towards the Aphrodite every once in a while, the Hell every once in a while. Do you think that buys you guys a pretty unique advantage as far as draft strategy goes?
Well, I think he should, but sadly, like we have players on the team who don't play OP gods, you know.
Right.
So I think it should, like, they shouldn't be able to ban like Afro and Hera, right? Like phase
Right.
1, they used to ban Afro and Hera, but since we didn't play like I just all around and like all those OP gods, like it didn't matter like they banned the my gods, I guess. So
Right,
it's up to
Persephone?
vote like to. Look, okay, I don't really play Persephone, but I mean, come on, like, no, I play Afro. I don't have to play Persephone. Like,
Okay.
it's fine. Give me a break, Tony. Come on.
Now, Cherryo, you think he needs to add Persephone to the god pool?
I think he should try, but he just hates the character. He won't even give it a chance. Like, if he'd play one game, we'd lose one game, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm not playing the god anymore." Like, which is fine. I
mean-
don't think every player and every team has to play every single god.
Right.
Some players just don't like. There's some junglers that if they're meta, like I wouldn't want to play them. I'll play them if they're like genuinely broken, but if they're just strong, like I'm just not gonna play them. Which I think is the same for everyone. For Dardez, it's Persephone, and for Vote, it depends on his mood, I guess.
And Vote, I'll go down to you. Maybe an interesting question here. In picks and kind of pick ban independent, whether you're in ranked or in the SPL, whatever it may be, you have to play two gods. You can only pick one of two gods every single game for the rest of your career. Which two hunters do you think you go with? Magical ADCs included in this conversation as well.
Jingwei Freya. No, Jingwei Rama, not Freya. Jingwei Rama.
No magical ADCs?
No. I can play Jingwei against Freya and I'm fine. Or I can play
Sure.
Rama against everything else.
Yeah, what do you think?
Okay,
There's
sure.
just been this rise of Rom, you know, here in Phase 2 specifically. What changes do you think really brought him to the forefront?
I think the passive change is insane. There was one time a rank game, I had like 2 arrows, I think it was 2. And then I just I used my 1 in the support like 7 times so you couldn't move. I don't know, I think it's just a bit dumb.
It's hard to lane against for sure. Cherryo, over to you. Buy or sell on Cabrakan in the jungle?
I don't know. I don't think he's that good, but I think teams wouldn't be that good into him if I pick him right now because they have no practice against him. And he's like a decent magical guardian that's played like an assassin, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it depends on the comp I'm playing against. I think he could work, but I think like it's probably not worth it. Like I don't think anyone else is ever gonna pick that god. I think he
Right.
did get buffed. I think he's honestly way better in support and solo, but no one plays him except Aurora in support. I think he has a very good support kit, but no one really brings him out. I think he's like kind of OP in solo as well. Now that sustain is gone from the meta, there's no like glad shield, so like he's
Right.
actually fine in lane because he struggled because he didn't have sustain. I think he's pretty good in solo. Maybe someone will listen to this and bring him out. We'll see. But in jungle, in the right comp, he might be OP. He's an OP god, but he's bad at the
Right.
same time. I can't explain it.
He's in some sort of weird lane. In the right situations, he's OP.
Yeah.
And in the wrong situations, he just doesn't. I think you bring up sustain. I think you built, I think it was what Bancrofts and Typhons.
and Poly.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel like you were swinging?
Yeah, I was swinging. I would die in team fights and check the recap and see I did like 1.5k damage to 3 people with my 3 because they didn't
Right.
cancel it because it does
Sure.
a lot of damage. You have one shot potential, but we kind of misdrafted that game a little bit. I won't go into details why, but they.
No, of course.
I ended up not being able to one shot anyone because of the way the comps were.
Right.
So
Oh, understood. It was fun to watch, if nothing else, from our perspective. All right, I'm gonna steal another one from Finch here. Dardez, I'm gonna go down to you first. Favorite or maybe least favorite person to lane against in the mid lane? Not God, but specific
okay,
player
yeah.
matchup in the SPL.
My favorite is like Big Man, I'd say, because he looks for 1v1 sometimes, so it's fun. Like because mid lane is kind of boring. Like nowadays, like no one tries to win 1v1, right? Like you're just farming.
Just farm,
So I'd say
free gold all over the map, the most
Yeah.
access to the most gold out of any role, all those sorts of things.
Like you have too much to farm. Like you CBA 1v1, like there's no point. So I'd say Big Man favorite, and I don't know. I don't know what's my like. I couldn't say honestly. I don't know.
As far as least favorite goes, hey, if you're feeling comfortable in all of them, maybe, none of them are your least favorite. Vote.
No.
Maybe over to you. Go ahead, Dardez. You had a thought, maybe?
No.
Okay, it's all right.
I'm
Vote.
good.
Over to you. Long lane, favorite and maybe least favorite duo lane to match up against.
I don't think it's like player based. I think it's god dependent.
Sure. Least favorite
Or like
combo of gods.
player god combo. Rongu
Sure.
Horus. I'd never want to play against that again in my life. That man put me in the dirt. And maybe like a Roar Herc, depending on the day. Sometimes a Roar Herc just doesn't miss, but sometimes he just misses all the time, so it's like not scary. You know?
Well, I guess that's the gamble, right? I mean, teams just they ban him. They say, I don't want to flip that coin, so I'm gonna take him out of the pool. Anyone in the hunter? I guess maybe it is just more. Maybe
Actually,
more support
Metroid
dependent.
Hoi.
Yeah, there you go.
Metroid Hoi is pretty lethal. Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
miss
he's good.
benches. I think Chai knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's scary on that Hoi. Over to you, Cherryo. I know jungle's in a bit of a different spot, as far as not directly facing off against your counterpart there. Any matchups in the jungle that you look forward to? Maybe you don't look forward to? Anything come to mind?
I'm not sure. I think I prefer, like when the enemy jungle, I don't really know what they're gonna play. So I guess Scream for that, but at the same time he's the least favorite because then when you scrim him, you have no idea what, like you're just playing against off meta stuff all the time. So he's like the favorite and the least favorite. I think the favorite in SPL probably, but the least favorite in scrims for sure, easily.
Yeah, hard to prepare up against Scream. All right, this one's for all of you guys as a team. I actually like this question. You all have to work together. Everyone has to play a different role. You're going, whether it's SPL or ranked, whatever it is. Everyone has to play a different role. What organization of your team do you think gives you the best chance of winning a game?
Okay, Raffer has to be mid or solo, right? I think we all can agree to that. He cannot, like, he's not going to pay enough attention to jungle, and he cannot ADC. So it's mid or solo.
You give him solo for sure.
Well, who's jungle? Nika or Ro? What's the play here?
Nika ADC for sure. Dardez support. Probably me jungle. It has to be you solo, I guess.
I'm solo, Raffer mid.
The last time he played soloed.
Raffer mid though?
I was testing limits. I mean, maybe Raffer solo, just give him like...
give him so big.
Yeah, fair.
Give him so big or like
Terra. Mid, I guess.
So, Raf solo, me jungle, Cherry mid, Dardez support, Nika ADC. I mean, it's not really fair because Dardez was an actual support player before.
Right.
Yeah,
and he was an actual ADC player before.
Sure.
And I was an actual mid laner before as well.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, we'll win.
the hardest, do you think, in that composition?
Me.
Raf.
No, me in mid. I would.
Really?
I would be Twig in mid.
Actually, I guess late game Raf's doing the same job, right? It's just kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think Raf would end too hard. I mean, he is a troll though, so you never know.
Yeah.
But I think in team fights I'll always be dying. I can tell you that. So it depends how much Raffer feeds in lane, I guess.
Right. Right. The big dependent there. How confident are you? Well, I guess probably not very at the SPL level. Do you think you guys 5Q into highest level ranked? How confident are you that squad organization gets a win?
Not very.
Yeah, not very confident. I think.
Oh come on, guys, we're winning this thing. It's not even close.
I think all of us are terrible ranked players. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dardez actually inside the game, but he wins somehow.
Look, I'm first GM. Come on.
Yeah, but you don't.
Like, I'm the best friend
every
player
game.
out there. Like, come on. Man.
I never see you. I never see you popping off though.
It's all about the mental, you know. I stay it mentally. That's why I win ranked games. I mean,
fair enough.
it's a mental game. It's not like
it's not your gaming
You don't need
chair.
to be mechanically insane, you know.
Right. All right, guys. Kind of rounding out the thoughts here. You guys have had a great start to phase 2 overall. Cherryo, I'll start up with you. It's a very long phase. Do you think that the length of the phase, maybe prior to getting to our final thoughts, do you think the length of the phase changes sort of the dynamic of how you guys look at things, I guess? I mean, for lower teams, maybe it's more time for them to build up. How do you think the dynamic of the league changes, adding one more game against every opponent?
I think that it mainly doesn't really matter how anyone does in any of the games now, as long as you're learning from them. I think, like, whenever we lost to Ghost, it was like, well, whatever, we play them a couple times more, we just have to learn what we can from this. And I think we learned a little bit going to the Radiant set. We didn't have that much time to scrim, but we'll scrim again like this week or whatever. So we'll see how it goes. I think it just, like, the phase doesn't matter. I think every team can agree to that because you saw how SK what they did last year.
Right.
You know, they went to qualifiers and won, and then you also saw Sanguine on us. We got first and second. We didn't win MSI. We both lost in semis. So it doesn't really matter how you place. Obviously, seeding matters a little bit, but if you're not the best team, you're not going to win anyways. Like maybe you'll get lucky in semis. You'll lose in finals with a better team anyways.
Right.
So I think this is just a learning phase. Like I think every game you just take what you can learn from it and you move on.
It's all about sort of peaking at the right time. I get to your SK point. I mean, they played their best Smite at the right time last year. Forget who it is, somebody, not necessarily SPL wise, but it's kind of a common thought, I guess, that if you're gonna play through a tournament, you're gonna have to face almost everyone anyway on your way to the finals. So probably the right way of looking at that one. Dardez, down to you though. A great start to the phase. Where do you think you guys maybe finish off by the end of it? Not looking towards playoffs and worlds and all that, just as far as phase standings go.
I'd say it's like phase 1. I think we will finish top 2, top 3, maybe top 1. You never know. It's up to the audio lane. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, dude.
Oh no, Vote. Do you agree?
I mean,
does it hinge on you? Does phase placement?
Smaller than Raph than me. It's all up to Raph. He's a captain.
You guys are a package deal, so.
Nah.
Yeah, you are.
I can not fit in lane easily. I don't know about Raph though.
It's about scrims though.
It's about scrims. Like I think scrims are all that matters for us.
I can't control him.
You need
no
to.
one can. No one can control that man.
He's a captain.
So, all right, so actually, I'm gonna follow up. Give me a little glimpse. What? So does Rapper? Is he a free flying man? Is he just fly by the seat of his pants and then call the shots, and you guys just have to follow?
I don't call it.
Nah, he doesn't see anything.
He's a fraud, you know. Like...
Oh, he's just a troll, man. Like he doesn't actually. He like if Rapper, like let's say 60% of the game is he trolls first, then the other 40%, as soon as one person trolls or like makes a pretty bad mistake, he will just like end, you know. like he would see like Dardez or Vote like die in lane to like a bad gank, and then he would just run it down, try to kill the person who killed him, even though it's never gonna happen, you know. And then kind of repeat that a couple times in scrims, and then but when Rapper is in the mood, you know, we have like the best scrims. It's like easy, everything feels good, but it's just up to him. I think he maybe is trying not to get himself burnt out because it's a long season. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but who knows? He's a big troll for sure, though.
All right, so Vote dependent. Say Rapper is playing at his least trolliness. Where do you think you guys place by the end of the phase?
And if no one's trolling, probably first.
Yeah, why not?
Definitely top 2 if you're not trolling.
Hey, you're in those spots now. Cherryo, same thoughts?
Yeah, I think if we're all actually tryharding 100%, we get first place. But right now, like with the way we're playing right now, probably top 3, I'd say.
And that's where you guys have started off the phase. Cannot wait to watch you guys continue to grow and you know, build on what has been a great start here in phase 2. So all 3 of you guys, thanks so much for sitting down with me. Best of luck for the rest of the phase, and we'll talk soon.